Oh, hello everybody. Welcome to this week's training webinar that Ross Hamilton from Connected Investors and myself, Tim Mai from DoDeals.com, are doing for you guys. We're really excited to have you on this third module of this training series. We have a total of 4 modules, and we're on our third one already. So thank you so much for, hanging in there and participating in the last couple of modules and continuing on this module. I hope you have been learning a lot. I know certainly Ross and I have been giving out a lot of information, teaching a lot of information. I hope you guys have learned it and went out there and implemented it. And I've got a bunch of emails from different students about how grateful they are for us doing this, Ross, and how much they're learning. And so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. I'm totally pumped for everyone who's been following along and taking action after each training, because we're really laying everything out on the table. We're not leaving anything out. This is how we're making money and how thousands of investors all around the United States are making money right now. So guys, make sure to, we're going to give you a lot of great action points today. Make sure to watch some of the replays. You might have to watch them a few times. We give you a ton of info, but we're giving it all to you.
Right, and so we are pretty excited about this, and let's get started, everybody. First thing first is that I hope by now you have already signed up for your Connected Investors account and your DoDeals account. If you haven't already done so, go to connectedinvestors.us, connectedinvestors.us, and for your DoDeals account, go to dodeals.com/CI. dodeals.com/CI. So that way we know that you are a part of this program. This is a way of tracking that you're a part of this program and give you the special, special
everything.
Trial. Yeah, special everything. A special treatment, special trial to get started with us. And so make sure you do that. All right. Well, today's module is on how to find private money. Ross, I don't know if you've gotten this as much as I have, but money or funding sources or cash is like one of the biggest objections or things that hold back someone who's getting started in real estate investing. I hear it all the time with him. I mean, where do I find the money? Because if I can't find the money, how am I going to do the deals, right?
Yeah, it stops a lot of people from starting because they think that that's going to be a big roadblock, but it's really not.
Right. And, if you've been following in Module 1 and 2, you know that what we taught you you don't need any money at all to do the kind of deals we're teaching you to do in this training, okay? So if we teach you, well, you don't need any money to do any deals, why the heck are we here to teach you about how to find private money, right? But see, what we're teaching you is we want to arm you with everything that you need to be successful in your business. And to be an ultra successful wholesaler, you have to become a one-stop wholesaler, meaning that your buyer can come to you for the deals, they can come to you for the financing, and you got everything packaged up, ready for ready for them to take the deal, close the deal down, and do whatever they do with the deal. One of the biggest reasons why buyers don't buy, not because they don't want to buy, but because they have this fear, just like you do, of, well, if I don't have the money, if I don't have the financing, how can I buy this thing, right? And so we want to teach you, Ross and I want to teach you about private money, so that way you can have that in your toolbox available for your buyers. So that way when you present your deals, you're like, hey, this deal is fully packaged. We have the deal and we have the lenders lined up to fund these deals for you. And so that makes the buyer much more willing to buy the deal from you.
I mean, at that point, Tim, all they have to do is sign the dotted line.
Correct, right. And so, so we want to teach you about private money so you can just be able to provide to your buyers this, professional service, this sort of full service wholesaling, so they don't have to come to you for deal and go somewhere else for financing. And of course, with the use of private money, allows you to do any of the deals that you might want to close down yourself, or perhaps you're working on REOs or short sales where you need to close, where you need the funding to close your first transaction and then turn around and close it with your buyer. Or if you decide to buy it and fix it up and sell it retail, you have the private money available for you to do that. Okay, and so the type of deals we're teaching you in doing wholesaling in this training series doesn't need for you to have any of your own money to do this, or actually no money at all. But beyond the scope of what we're teaching you in this series, if you want to actually do other types of deals that do require money, well, this module is the module that you need to pay very close attention to, because this is the module where you'll be able to get yourself a list of private lenders and access to millions of dollars in private funds to do as many deals as you want to do.
Oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited to show everyone this, Tim.
Right. All right. Let's go to let's talk about private lending and what it is. I call it Private Lending 101. What is private money? Private money is money that's coming from a private individual. Okay, so for example, you come to me and you said, "Hey Tim, I have this deal. Would you lend me some money to do this deal? I'm a private individual. I lend that money to you, so therefore it's a private money." Okay, and so what is a private lender, a private money lender? Well, private money lender is who I would be. I'm lending you. I'm the lenders because I'm lending you some of my own private money. So that's a private lender. And one of the most common types of private lenders out there, that's especially the kinds that I like to go after, are the people with self-directed IRAs. And you see, IRAs...
Write that down, everyone. Write that down. That's huge.
Yeah. Well, Ross, do you want to explain a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, when you're dealing with private individuals who might want to lend money in real estate, a lot of times you're looking for people that have money just kind of sitting around. Maybe it's not earning a lot of interest on the capital that they have, and so you have to figure out who has a lot of money sitting around. We're going to teach you a lot of different techniques on how to find those people, but if you go to people who have IRAs, self-directed IRAs, then you can actually formulate a list of people who have money to invest and money to lend. So you're kind of pre-qualifying the people you're talking to up front. You don't have to say, hey, do you have money to invest? You already know that they have money to invest. So at this point, you're just presenting them a very favorable opportunity, a nice win-win.
Right. And so, IRA private lenders are definitely my favorites, and I'm going to teach you in this training about how to find them, how to find lots of them, okay? All right, so next I want to talk about hard money lenders, because you might have heard what a hard money lender is before, or heard of that term before, but a hard money lender is basically a broker for private money. So for example, let's say you don't know me directly, okay? I'm a private lender, you don't know me, but you know Ross, and Ross is a hard money lender, and you know him because he has all of this advertising out there that, we fund deals and things of that nature. And so you go to Ross, and Ross said, yes, I will lend you money. It's 5 points up front, and 18 points, 18% interest rate. Not 18% interest rate. A point is equals to 1% of the loan amount. Okay, that's just the amount that they're able to charge you up.
So, $100,000 loan, 5 points, $5,000.
Right, and so you might think, well, that's really expensive. 5 points up front and 18%. Well, see, they only lend on really good deals, and so if your deals is good, don't worry about the money. As long as you don't worry about what the hard money lender is going to charge you or how much they're going to make. If you're going to make 20 grand on that deal, then by all means do it, right? So, think about the profit you're going to make. But here's how hard money lenders differentiate from private money. So you go to Roth, and then Roth have access to a bunch of private lenders, and one of which is myself. So Roth comes to me and says, hey, Tim, I have this deal. It's a really sweet deal. You want to lend on it? I say, yes, I'll lend on it. And so I charge Roth, let's say I charge Roth no point upfront and 10% for as the interest rate, okay? So Roth turn around and charge you 5 points upfront and 8% interest rate. So all of that spread that are in the middle, Roth gets to keep for himself. Now, he gets to keep that because he's going to service your loan. So if something happens to your loan, he's going to come after you. If you default on your loan, he's going to have to foreclose on the property and then try to resell it to get my money back. And so he's doing all of these things, and that's how he earns his money. But basically, he's a hard money lender is just a broker for a private lender, because a lot of private lenders, they don't advertise themselves, and so nobody knows them. And also because maybe they don't want to deal directly with the individual. They'd rather deal with a hard money lender because they feel safer that way and less work for them. They don't have to go look at.
Yeah, they don't have to pre-qualify the deal.
Right.
Yeah, can I give the audience a little tip here, real quick?
Yeah.
Whenever I first got into real estate, there were a few hard money lenders at my RIA, and Tim and I strongly suggest always going to your RIA. And actually, what I would do, because I didn't know how to qualify deals for a little while, is I would bring my deals to the hard money lender, and if he got excited about it and was going to fund it, then I knew I had a good deal.
Right.
And if he didn't like the deal and wasn't excited about it, then I had years and years of experience to pull from, because he would look at my deal, ask me 3 or 4 questions I didn't know the answers to, and then I knew that, oh, shoot, maybe I should, whatever the circumstance might have been, maybe I should look into the, I don't know, railroad tracks behind the house I didn't realize that were really loud that the private lender knew about because he had done a deal like that before. So if you find a hard money lender, they're fun to run deals by because they'll evaluate your deals for you. Sometimes they charge to look at deals. Okay, a lot of them don't right now, but in the past, when they get busy, they'll charge a few $100s to even look at your deal because it's a lot of due diligence up front.
Right. Yeah, that's an extremely good tip. I hope you have written that down. I mean, and that's what I suggest to all of my students who are new, and especially if they're going to rehab the deal. Like, I would not recommend for you to buy a deal that you're going to fix up and rehab without getting a hard money lender to look at it.
Yeah, because they will really pick it apart, and if they don't like the deal, don't do the deal.
Right.
That was kind of the way I lived for a while.
Right, and sometimes it's, they'll tell you, well, I can't lend to you at this amount, but I can lend to you at this amount, which is normally a low amount. When that's the case, then you know that you need to go back to the seller and renegotiate the price down, and you have yourself a good deal. And so
that's also actually a really good negotiating point. Whenever you have a contract in place and you go to your hard money lender and they won't give you the money, and you go back to the seller and say, I'm sorry, I can't get financing. It's kind of a nibble technique. Right at the end, you say, I can get this deal closed in 15 days, but it has to be at this price. It can't be at that price. I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. So I mean, definitely use them as a use them to your advantage and use their expertise and things of that nature. And so that it's great for you to have relationship with both hard money lenders and private lenders as well. And you use them for different things, of course. And so let's talk about.
Tim, can we just mention a term real quick that a lot of people that's in the lending type realm, but a lot of people don't understand: transactional funding. A lot of people get confused on what transactional funding, what private money is, what hard money is. And transactional funding, guys, just to kind of keep it straight and to the point, is when you already have a buyer lined up and you have a seller lined up and you need money for, like, what, an hour, 2 hours, 10 seconds to close the deal. sometimes lenders will require that a deal gets closed before it gets sold. So anytime you hear transactional funding, it's a hard money loan for like a split second because the property is already sold.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it could be a few minutes, a few hours. It could be a few days, depending on the deal. Yeah, depending on the deal and how comfortable the transactional lender is willing to do it. Now, there are companies that specialize in just doing transactional funding only. They don't do any hard money or private money lending, just transactional. But if you ask your local local private lenders and hard money lenders, a lot of times they will be willing to do those type of deals as well. And it's just every lender is a little bit different. So just talk to them. And sometimes they don't even know about it yet, but you bring the idea to them like, hey, that sounds really good. I like that. I would do that.
Yeah.
When I found about transactional funding, that's the first thing I did. I contacted some of my private lenders and said, hey, if I need this type of funding, this type of money, and I'm willing to pay you 2% for it. Would you be 2% for 30 days to use your money within 30 days? Would you be willing to lend on it? They're like, yes. And so a lot of times your private lenders, they might not know about that program, but you can introduce that to them.
And guys, if you ever have any questions, if you come across those deals, you don't have to know all this stuff right now. Again, Tim and I are arming you with everything you're going to need to succeed. But you can post questions about transactional funding and in any of the forums that Tim and I give you access to, and then you can get real-time answers to your questions inside Connected Investors or Do Deals. So, all right.
All right. So let's talk about where to find some of these private lenders. Okay. One of my favorite ways to find private lenders, like I said, I like to go after very specifically IRA type of lenders. And so if you go to your county clerk's office, that's one of the easiest ways to go find them. Find people who are already lending with the IRA money. And one of the websites that I go to, now this website is, they cover a lot of Texas, I know they cover California and a few other states, but they're not nationwide. So if your county doesn't have this website, then just go directly to your county clerk's website, because I can do the same thing. I can go directly to the Harris County Clerk's website, or I can go to this website called courth.com, courth.com. And so what you want to do is you want to go here and you want to search for the IRA custodian company's name. There's two major ones that cater to real estate investors. They are Intrust and Equity Trust. Now, Intrust and Equity Trust are the two biggest company IRA custodian companies in our I guess industry, in our real estate investing industry. And so I'm going to go on here real quick here. I'm going to go on courth.com here.
And then Tim, while you're doing that, I just want to bring up the website NetR Online, and it is just a directory of courthouse. It's a directory of if you don't know the local website for your courthouse, which you should, because honestly, I am on mine is nhcgov.org, and I mean everyone is different, but I am on that like for almost every transaction I do for one reason or another. Right. So it's important to start, getting familiar with scrolling around and understanding. Right. What you're
definitely. At. Yeah, definitely get familiar with that. And when we get to the courthouse directory, we have that available within the members area of Do Deals for You as well. So that's Great. Another resource we made available for you. But all right, I'm going to go to so I'm on courth.com now, which redirect you to courthousedirect.com. And I'm going to select Harris County because that's where I am. And like I said, this is not a national website. They do cover several states, but they don't cover all the states. So if it's not on here, then just go directly to your county clerk's website. So I'm going to click on a grantor grantee search here, and here in Texas, we have what we call a deed of trust, that whenever you borrow money from a bank or from a lender, what you do is you sign a deed of trust over to the lender, meaning, you saying that it's sort of like a collateral, saying, okay, I give you my deed as a collateral. If I don't pay my mortgage, you can take my deed. You can take the deed to my house. And so if you're not familiar with any type of grantor-grantee search, grantor is the person who gives, and grantee is the person who receives. Okay, so tor is give, t receives, and so in a deed of trust where you are you are giving your house up, your deed up as a collateral, you are the grantor, and the lender is the grantee. Okay, in a case where the seller sells the property to you, the seller deeds the house to you, so the seller gives the house to you, right? So that's the seller would be grantor, and you, the receiver, would be grantee. All right. So get familiarized with that, because as you learn about doing research with courthouse records and stuff, grantor grantee is a very important thing for you to learn how to search through that. Okay.
Put it on your flashcards, people. You need to know those terms.
Right. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to search for all of the deed of trust that was that somebody had signed the deed of trust to Intrust as as the lender. Okay. Because normally when there's a private lender involved, the whole name is like Intrust Retirement Services, FBO, which stands for the benefit of, and then the person's name, like Ross Hamilton, IRA number 1112, something like that. But the name Intrust is included in that entire long name. Okay, and so I'm going to go here on a grantee and do a search on Intrust. Okay, and just to filter things down, I'm going to put the type of document here as a deed of trust, which is DT. They have instructions on here for you to see that. I'm just going to put for 2010 until now, so that way I don't get too many results back. Okay. So I'm going to do 2010. So now you know that these are the people who, these are the people who had lent money just in the past year. Okay. Oh, never mind. It went. All right. So let me sort it. Oh, okay. Here you go. All right. So 2010 here. So I see here that on January 6, 2010. The buyer name is James Stonebreaker, borrow money from Arthur Gerbert, IRA number 10837. So Arthur Gerbert is a private lender that we would want to contact. All right, so we would write down his name. So you continue to go down here. Here's another one, Real Wealth, borrow money from John Gushma. All right, so that's another private lender. And just to give you a really good tip too, all of these buyers that are on the grantor side, all right, they know how to access private money, and they borrow private money to buy deals. Guess where they need to be on your buyers list?
At the top. At the very, very top. These are the best investors in town.
They need to be on your VIP buyers list, okay? And as you look here, I mean, these dates are very, pretty recent that they bought these properties. And if you see, like, look at this guy, Real Wealth, and you see his name multiple times in the same year, that means that he's very active in or they, I should say, because I actually know them personally. It's a brother and sister partnership, and they're very active in buying, and so they could buy they can buy properties from you, many times. So, all right. So here's another buyer, Ronald Fielder, and he borrowed money from Interest Great Lakes LLC. So Great Lakes LLC is the private lender on that. And so basically the way you look at this is you're looking for the ones that ends with that doesn't have the word, well, that doesn't have the name Interest Retirement Services on here, and doesn't have the trustees. See, TRE stands for trustees. So trustee is normally the attorney that's doing that file, and so you just want to look for the private name here that normally has
also,
the IRA in it.
Take in mind that attorney could be a good attorney for you to use in town, because
Right.
they know what to do. If you go to this attorney and you have any sort of weird closing where you're using private money, it's probably going to be the best attorney to go to. And
Right.
the list that Tim's pulling up here, I mean, realistically, Tim, if I were to go back, if I was to go back half a decade ago and figure out how to get into real estate, I would have started at the courthouse records, and I would have looked and see who was buying, all of those buyers, found the private money. I would have totally started right here first. This is going to cut through all of the BS, all the investors who say they're buying properties, everyone who pretends like they want to do something. I mean, these are people who have done deals in the last little while.
Right. I mean, these are real buyers, real lenders. I mean, it's on public record.
They can't,
Yeah, these are not tire kickers. These are real players. And yes, I agree with you, Ross. I would definitely start here, and this is the reason why I'm teaching you guys to start here.
This is so amazing. I mean, I would bug the heck out of these people. I would make them mentor me. I mean, I would just show up at their office and just say, hey, how can I help you? And just start hanging with these people who are doing a lot of deals. Because this is powerful right here. There's courses that people have that they sell for thousands of dollars that is nothing but what Tim just showed you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, these are very specific information, of what has worked for me in the past, what continues to work for me and my students, and so yeah, I'm teaching you like real world stuff here. And so if I'm going, I have to go a little bit fast because we don't have a whole lot of time. But if you need to watch this video over and over and learn to do some of these search. And if your county is not online, it's okay. Go down to the county clerk's office and do the search down there. You
can bug the people that work there. I mean,
right.
I used to buy the ladies down there. I used to bring them I knew when their birthdays were and for Christmas and stuff, because I'd be in there so often. I'd bring them flowers and chocolates, and they'd give me the files before anyone else saw them, and they'd help me, and I'd walk in and they'd already have my stuff for me. I mean, I spent a lot of time at the courthouse because there's so much powerful information in the public records. But when I started, no one was online. Right. Now you can find a private lender anywhere or a buyer anywhere across the country. Let's say I have a deal in California. I can literally just go to the courthouse, see who's buying, get their info, and I know I have a real buyer.
Correct. Yes, that is definitely
so
correct.
Powerful.
I mean, the courthouse is very, very powerful, and just not enough people use it, and you don't have much competition at all because number one, either people don't know how to use it or they're too lazy to use it.
Yeah.
They want to find an easier way. They want to just go on Craigslist and find somebody. But these courthouse research stuff, I mean, this is where you get this is where you get the real players, the real buyers, the real lenders, yeah, it's a great resource for you to be able to use. So make sure you learn how to use it. But as you can see here, I mean, you have some of these buyers in private lenders land as as recent as March 15, which is what, 7 days ago, like a week ago, right? So here's March 15, 2011, March 14, 2011, March 11, 2011. So I mean, very, very recent, and you can contact all of these people. And and some of these attorneys that are trustees, they're actually my private lenders as well. So don't skip them as a private lenders also, okay? Because they also have their own money that they like to lend out. All right, so let me go back over here. All right, so you can do the same thing.
And
because
then, hold on 1 second. My brain's going crazy right here because I'm thinking of all these crazy things. Like, so let's say we do a search and we find a gentleman or a lady who is borrowing from a private lender. There's a good chance that they probably have a house that they're fixing up and selling right now.
Right.
If they just borrowed from, I mean, not only can you buy property, you can sell properties to them, but they might even have some properties for you to buy if your buyer's list is strong, ready to go.
Right.
And if you came to them and said, hey, I have a buyer's list that wants some deals in this area. Do you have anything? Now you're bringing value to them right off the get-go. I mean, everyone in this transaction you can play every single way. So I just wanted to slow down for one more second just to make sure you guys understand that you found a lot of great resources right here.
Right. Exactly. You can do all kinds of things with these people. And knowing that they're real players, you're gonna build relationship with them, okay? Long-lasting relationship with them.
And if you're scared to call them, you can literally, let's say you're completely and totally scared, you can literally just call them up and say, hey, I hear you buy and sell a lot of houses in the area. Do you have anything for sale right now? They're going to say, oh, yeah, actually, we're working on a house over here. And then that could be a great icebreaker.
Right. Yeah, and then
we'll give you some other techniques, but that's a real simple one.
Right. That is a really simple, easy one for you to implement. And and then say, hey, can we meet up for lunch? Can we meet at the house? And so get to know them. Okay, very, very important to get to know them. All right. So if QuoteH.com doesn't have your county, you can go to the members area of DoDeals.com and click on more over here. Put your mouse on more and click on courthouse directory, and click the city and state that you're in. I'm just gonna randomly pick something. Okay, and there's a link for the county clerk's website and the county appraisal website as well if you need that. All right, let me see here. Spy on your competitors. If you know of some real estate rehabbers in your area, okay, and you know that they buy houses all the time. Most rehabbers use private money. If they're beginning investors, rehabbers, then there's more chance that they use hard money lenders. But as they get going, most of them, if not all of them, use private money. And so, knowing who they are, you can go on your county clerk's website and do a grand tour search on their name, which is very similar to what we did with the interest, and we found the buyers. Well, now you can search based on the buyer's name and find out who lent them the money, and go and contact those lenders.
That reminds me of a funny story. I was at my local RIA, and this guy came in there, and he had this deal that he was presenting in front of the RIA, and he mentioned he got private money on it, and one of the guys in the audience is like, will you give me your private lender's info? And everyone just laughed, because obviously whenever you have a good private lender, you don't want to tell everyone in town about them. Right. And I sat there, I had my laptop with me, and I just chuckled because he told me the address of the property. I jumped on the website that Tim showed you, found his private lender in like 2.5 seconds because I knew what to do. And then later on that day, after he was done, his name was Jonathan. I was like, Jonathan, look at this. And he was like, he just shook his head, and he had a big smile on his face, and he's like, you SOB. Oh, man. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And and then networking at RIA clubs, just like what Ross is talking about, is an extremely useful resourceful place for you to be networking, to find all kinds of people, sellers, wholesalers, buyers, private
hard money lenders.
hard money lenders. I mean, everybody hangs out at the RIA clubs, and so make sure you go there and network. And it's generally a pretty nice place. I haven't met any mean people there. I'm sure there are some, but generally speaking, they're very helpful to newbies because they've, especially the seasoned people, they've seen, newbies come and go, and if you present yourself as a go-getter, people love that. People love newbies that are go-getter, and they'll really extend whatever they can to help you out. And so
some of my RIA organizers, whenever I first got started, would actually give me warm introductions to people because I was such a go-getter. This gentleman David came in, and I'd been at the RIA for about a year and a half and done very, very well. And he came in, and he wanted to make things happen. And they introduced me, and then me and this gentleman wound up doing dozens of deals together. And the RIA was so valuable to me that I wound up sitting on the board of the RIA for a while, just to help people and to be a common face in the real estate investment industry in my town. So,
right. I mean, if you talk to any successful real estate investor or guru, they'll tell you. I mean, the RIA the RIA is a tremendous help for them in their business, and so
they've been there at least once.
Right.
And you can't go one time and leave and be like, oh, Ross and Tim, they told me to go, and I didn't make $30,000 whenever you got to keep going, people.
Right. Yeah, definitely. You got to keep on going, and find out who the players are. Get to know them. Remember, this is a relationship-based business, so you got to build a relationship with people. If you don't like to build relationship with people, then go hire somebody that likes to build relationship with people and send them out there.
That was a great tip.
Yeah.
I was going to say you shouldn't be in real estate, but I think that's a better idea.
Yeah. Send your spouse out or something, right? And so, like my wife is totally like non-social. She doesn't like to be in any group or anything like that. So anything that has to do with social stuff, she'll send me out. All right. Another great resource for you to find private lenders is I work with Intrust a lot because they're local here in Houston. If you go to their website, theintrustgroup.com, theintrustgroup.com, they're a franchise company, and so they have franchisees throughout the entire U.S. I used to, and as a matter of fact, I'm holding one this upcoming weekend, this upcoming Saturday here. But I used to, I used to host monthly meetings for them because I used to have a pretty big office. And you don't need to have a big office to do this, and I'll show you how I'm doing it now without a big office. But I used to have a big office, and so I tell the Intrust owner and said, hey, you can have your meetings at my place, once a month for your clients because they have these things called the client mixers. And so every month they come to my office and they have their meetings. And every single of those meetings, there's over $10 million in private funds in that room.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
Yes. And
wow, it's like setting up a lemonade stand in the desert.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so like I had no trouble of getting private money or private lending. I mean, I have access to so much private money. I didn't use much of it. Use like very little amount of that I have access to. And because I am the person who's hosting the meeting, everybody look at me as an authority like automatically, right?
Yeah.
And, or maybe not necessarily an authority, but someone they can trust. And so so that's how in my that's how I got a lot of my private money. Is just through those meetings and meeting those people, those Intrust clients that are there. And we're doing another one this upcoming Saturday here. And what I did here is I rented a room to host a joint meeting. So I wanted to have a meeting of my own, and I was like, hey, well, since I'm doing my meeting, why not I I tell interest to do a meeting together, and so I call them up, and they agree to do a meeting together. So they're promoting my meeting to their interest clients as well, and so it's a win-win for both sides, right? I'm sending them clients, and they're sending me clients.
Wow.
And so. Yeah, so you certainly can do that, and there's all kinds of meetings at places like you can have a meeting at the library for free in most cases. You can check with your homeowner association. A lot of time they have that they have a meeting area that they'll allow you to use for free or for very low cost, or even places like IHOP. Restaurants like that, if you promise to spend X amount of money in food, they'll let you use their big space for free, like a corner of the restaurant for free. And so so you can start small by doing those things. And then
thank you for that. I'm just taking notes right now.
Yeah.
I was not doing that before. That is
a gold mine.
Yeah, like I said, it's like lemonade in a desert.
Right.
People are thirsty. They're going to come right to you, man. This is great.
Right. They come to you, and guess what? They come to learn how to invest their money in real estate.
Oh, imagine that. I think I have a few ideas.
And so, and so there you are with your deals to present to them, to give them the opportunity to invest in these deals.
And let's think, Tim, why are people wanting to know how to invest in real estate right now? Because this is when the rich people jump into real estate 100% and buy up everything. If you just do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, when it comes to the real estate market, you're going to build a crazy amount of wealth. So many people right now are getting into real estate because they know right now is the time they're going to be able to buy, hold for 5 years, sell, triple, quadruple their money. So there's a lot of people that need your help to get them into real estate because they have the money, but they don't have the time to run around and do all this stuff. So right now is a really attractive time for wealthy people to get into real estate. So this is really, really, really a very exciting time to get into real estate. And that's not just me saying this. I just recently attended a mastermind meeting of the top real estate investors all across the world, and they're all really excited about real estate right now.
Right. Yeah. Now it's definitely a great time to buy. I mean, prices is pretty much rock bottom now, and so you just got to buy and hold on to them and wait for the market to come back and and sell and cash out. But all of these private lenders are also your possible buyers as well. Okay, a lot of them don't just lend, but they also buy, especially if you have a property management company in place, you have a general contractor in place to do the rehab for them, to rent out the house for them, like making it very hands-off for them, then they'll be a lot more excited to buy from you because they probably have a job or they retired. They don't want to get into the hard work of it, but they do want to put their money to work. So
a lot of different reasons that they're going to be excited to work with you.
Right, exactly.
And if they're already lending, you don't even have to sell them on the fact because they already know.
Right, exactly. Okay, now let's move on to hard money lenders. To find hard money lenders, we also, if you log into the members area of Do Deals and click on bonus, and scroll down to toward the bottom, you see hard money lenders. We have an Excel spreadsheet of a database of hard money lenders throughout the U.S. that you can get access to. And so just make sure you go and claim that. You can also go on Google and search, whatever your town is, Wilmington, hard money lenders, and you'll be able to to find hard money lenders in your area off of Google as well. Google is pretty powerful now, so you can find a lot because a lot of hard money lenders, they advertise.
Yeah, they want to be found.
Right. They want to be known, so they're pretty active in advertising their business, and so so you can find them on Google.
And also, people at Urea will share their hard. No one hides a hard money lender.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
it's good just to ask, hey, literally you can go to your RIA and say, hey, does anyone know where I can get any hard money? And there's going to be a few investors that have used someone, and it's always good if you can get a recommendation from someone up front. It will save you a lot of time.
Right, exactly. All right, let's move to part number 2 of this private lender training here. So how to contact the private lenders. The easiest way to contact them is just through, by the phone. So as you do your courthouse research and you track down their phone number using our Instant Owner Tracker tool in the due deals members area. For those of you who don't know what that is, I'll take you to it real quick here. Go to More and click on Instant Owner Tracker here. Use that to track down their phone number and just call them up. That'll be the easiest way. If you have access to the email, like maybe because it's a referral or something, you certainly can send them an email as well. I always like to take them out for lunch. I mean, everybody likes free lunch, right? Because everybody eats lunch, and so why not get free lunch? And it doesn't have to be very expensive. The last private lender I took to lunch, I took him to a Mediterranean buffet place, and it was like $10 a person, something, not anything fancy. So you can contact them by phone, email, whichever way that you can get a hold of them. Like Ross said, show up at their office.
If they have an office, just show up and be like, hey, where do I start?
Right, and or go find where they hang out and go to those. But track them down. Here's what you're going to say to them. Okay, I'm going to read you this script here. So let's say I have tracked down John Doe in trust. All right, then I would call and say, hi, may I speak to John, please? And depending on what they, the answer, and I'll say, hi, are you the John Doe with interest? And if you got the right John Doe, then they'll say yes. It's like, yeah, I noticed that you lend money on real estate. I'm a local investor here, and our company buy and wholesale houses. I'm looking to build relationship with a few private lenders in town and bring you some business. You see, because we wholesale houses, we come across a lot of landlord and investor buyers who are looking to borrow money for their deals. Would you like me to refer these investors to you? It won't cost you anything. I just want my investors to have access to money for their deals, and you get to keep your money working, earning you a great ROI and secured by real estate. And can I take you to lunch so that we can get to know each other better? And so basically, it's a very and you can tweak this script to work for you, of course, to make it sound natural to you. But the point here is you just want to let them know that you notice that they lend money on real estate, and you want to refer them some buyers, some investors that buy properties and that are always looking for private money for their deals, and you want to get to know them better, so you want to take them out to lunch. And so that's the gist of your call to them. Okay.
Nice.
Now, one of the things that you have to, and this was a huge mindset shift for me when I was dealing with private lenders. When you deal with hard money lenders, they kind of have that because they advertise themselves, so they get a lot of business. People know them, and so they don't need your business. They don't care for your business. I mean, they want your business, but they're not. They're not that aggressive to try to gain your business. Okay, but when you're dealing with private lenders, they do not advertise themselves, and so hardly anybody know about them. But they want to keep their money working, and so so I'll give you an example. I took one of my private lenders out for lunch, and he said, yeah, I understand that other private lenders they would go out there and look at the property and stuff, and you know, and they would be more active in it. And so I know that I have to compete with them for your business, and so I'm willing to, I'm willing to charge less in interest rate, and do less work, and have your business. So like they are out here selling themselves to me.
Oh my gosh.
Wanting my business is funny.
Well,
and
the thing is, go ahead. I'm sorry, Tim.
Yeah, it's a total shift in mindset because their money is just sitting there doing nothing. And they don't have enough business coming to them because they don't advertise. Nobody knows them. Yeah. And I tracked down that private lender through the IRA research that I show you. And, and so I'm like one of the very few people that know about him to contact him. And so he's like selling himself on wanting me to do business with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so, so as you working this, and the more confident you are, and of course you're going to learn how to be confident, and as you start to do some deals, you gain more confidence. The more confident you are, the more people want to do business with you, and they will sell themselves. They'll make deals with you to make it work. They want to do business with you because these people, remember, the money is just sitting there, earning them zero. They would much rather put it to work than having it just sit there. Okay?
And so if they're in the public records, they already want to be in real estate.
Right.
You don't have to sell them on it. They've pre-qualified themselves. Someone else, some other piece of media convinced them to get into real estate. They want your deals. They're doing your exact type of deals. No one else is contacting them. If you do nothing else but just build a list, have lunch with a few people, it will be so worth it. And once you start hanging out with people that are lending private money, all sorts of other opportunities, come up that you can't even imagine. So definitely take action on, please take someone out to lunch and sit down with them. And it's okay. Everyone's just people. If you're nervous, you can tell them you're nervous. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Right. And you can tell them. I mean, the script that I'm giving you, you're borrowing the money for yourself. You're just telling them you're a wholesaler, and that you refer them some clients. And so, who doesn't like to get calls, right? for customers. And so it's a very easy, low-key way to get yourself in their network. And it's great for you to be, for you to learn from these people, because a lot of these people are millionaires and multi-millionaires. And one of my private lenders, we hang out a lot, and we look at some commercial properties together. And one time we were out looking at a commercial property, and we stepped out of his car, and he reached down on the ground and picked up this black penny. I mean, the penny was pretty dirty. Picked it up, cleaned it off, put it in his pocket. And I was amazed by that. I was like, and so I asked him, I was like, you pick up pennies? He goes, yeah, it's money. Yeah. And it was a huge shift in mindset for me. Here's this guy he has $14 million in cash plus however much in real estate, and he's picking up a dirty penny on the ground. And it made me think differently about how these multimillionaires think. And and so I started that habit. And so like whenever I find money, like I pick it up with excitement. It's like, yes, I'm a money magnet. And I teach my kids to do the same. It's hilarious. We'll go somewhere and they'll find some coins on the ground and they'll pick it up and they said, yes, I'm a money magnet.
Yeah, I saw Tim's kids in one of those just in a fountain in the middle of the mall, and they were raking it in.
Right.
Oh, man.
Talking about fountain in the mall. I used to do that when I was a kid. You know that? My friends and I would jump in the fountain and get all of those change out.
Stealing people's wishes. Oh, man, that's what it's there for. So the kids.
Right. So get to know these people, and then questions you want to ask these people is what is your typical loan term? How long will you be willing to loan it out? Some people will loan it out for a year, 6 months. or less, and also to ask them what's the interest rate and if they have any points. Most private lenders will charge you somewhere between 10 to 15% interest rate and 0 to 1 point. That's most private lenders. I have never had to pay any points to any private lenders before. And whenever I borrow private money, it's typically from 10 to 15%.
And then, Tim, sometimes on the records that you pull, I noticed you can look at their past loans, and it will show what interest rate that they lent at.
Right. Yeah.
You can just assume if it's a good interest rate, you know, whenever you present a deal to them, you can just present the same interest rate that they've already lent at before.
Right. Yeah. If you actually pull the documents, you know, the deed of trust, or if you're in a mortgage state, you pull out the mortgage. Yes, it will tell you the terms, and so you would know that ahead of time going into the deal.
Some private lenders have no interest in lending for 3 months, because then all they have to do is lend again. So all they want to do is use short term. So it's just good to know. That's a great question, because if you have a really great deal and someone wants to lend for 10 years, they can lend you the money. You can buy it and rent it and be their partner in the deal, and you can work all sorts of different angles with these private lenders.
Right. I mean, I have a private money loan on one of my rental properties right now that's been, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years already, you know. And yeah, they don't care to get the money out. They just want it working for them.
They want the tax write-offs at the end of the year.
Right. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, so you want to ask them about, you know, the term, the length of time, the interest rate, any points, and ask them, you know, what do you require to get the loan process started? Depending on the private lenders, some of them will say, well, you know, you got to use all of the documents from my real estate attorney, or they can say, well,
which you already know what attorney they have because it's in the documents.
Right. And or they'll tell you, well, you know, I'm comfortable with any you know, any attorney to do the documents, or sometimes they don't even care for any. I mean, all of these private lenders, they have different experience level, different comfort zone, and you know, and some of them will take longer to loan, some of them were shorter. I had a private lender where I had a deal that I was supposed to, you know, I was supposed to do a double closing on with my buyer, and the day before, like the afternoon before I was supposed to close early in the morning, my buyer backed out on me. So I had to call up one of my private lenders and said, hey, I need you to do me a favor. I have this property I'm supposed to wholesale, but the buyer backed out, and I have to close on it tomorrow morning. And he said, what time you need me to be there by? I said 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, he showed up with a cashier's check for me to close my deal. He didn't, you know, he didn't have to do any inspection, any appraisal. Now that's because I have done business with him. You know, we have done deals together, and I borrowed money from him and such, and so he was willing to take that risk and do and do that. And so, you know, so as you work with these private lenders, you're going to find out that some of them are very easy to work with, and if they know you and like you and trust you, they'll do all kinds of stuff to help you, because it also helps them. They make money too, and they feel pretty secure by the money that they lend to you. Okay. All right. So let's go through the loan process now. Okay. So here's what happens in the loan process. Number one, and this is a typical loan process. All right. It might change depending on your lender that you're working with, but this is pretty typical. First, you, the borrower, is going to provide to the lender a comparative market analysis, a CMA report on the property, so that way they know what the value of the property is. Okay. Most private lenders do not require for you to give them an appraisal, most of them, but some might. I know Harmony lenders, though, they require for you to use.
They definitely do.
Yeah, but private lenders are different. All the ones that I've dealt with, I've never had to use an appraisal before. Just the CMA is good enough. And then you want to provide your lenders also a detailed repair list and the pictures of the property. So all of the repairs, the pictures, you want them to be as informed as you can about the property. Mm-hmm. And then when I say you, I mean the borrower. The borrower will also provide them a copy of the contract so they know what they're lending on and what the terms of the contract is. And then at the closing, the borrower will pay all of the attorney's fee and the document charges, including the deed of trust or the mortgage and the promissory note and any other necessary documents that are required as a part of this loan. Okay, so you want to structure this deal for your private lender to make it really easy on them, and you're paying for all of the fees, and they loan you the money and they get a lien on the property. And so the lender is going to get a first lien position on the property, unless, of course, you negotiate with them and you need them in as a second lien holder, which is very possible as well. And then you, the borrower, is going to provide them with title, a title insurance with a mortgagee policy. When you get title insurance, there's two policies that happen in the title insurance. There's a homeowner policy, which covers for the homeowner, and then there's a mortgagee policy that covers for the lenders. And so you want to provide them with a mortgagee policy as well.
And Tim's doing a really good job here, being very detailed in this process. But I'd say probably 80% of what he's mentioning here is handled by the attorney doing the closing.
Right.
But it's good to know what's going on.
Yeah, you want to know these things and you want to memorize these things, because when you talk to the lenders, when you talk to these private lenders and you tell them, okay, here's what all the things that's going to happen, they're like, oh, he knows his stuff, mm-hmm. Right? And so knowing these things, your private lenders are, going to instantly have have more faith in your ability and what you can do, because you know your stuff. You're not fumbling your way through this thing. And the reason why I'm being very specific in this part of the process is because this is a very important part of you building relationship with your private lenders, so that way they have more faith in you. Okay, and so you, the borrower, is also going to buy property hazard insurance as well, which is a very important part. But it's funny, but that's the part that I forget a lot. And then at closing time, I'm like, I need to get insurance now.
Yeah, guys,
make sure that goes on your checklist.
Yeah, put that on the checklist, and because you're not dealing with when you go through a mortgage company like Wells Fargo, they won't close without that insurance on there. But when you go through a private lender, if they're trusting you, they'll close the property. And I sold a property once to another investor, and 4 days after I sold it, the kitchen caught on fire, and the investor didn't have insurance on it. And the funniest part, which about the whole thing, is the investor who bought the property, Tim, you're going to love this, owned an insurance company.
That's funny.
It's nuts. He was not happy with himself for a long time. It cost him about $7,000-8,000 in damages. Well, the whole house didn't burn down. But had the whole house burned down, he would have been out.
Right. Exactly. Well,
hazard insurance, yes.
Right. It's because when you're doing a deal, there's so many things that are going on, and you don't remember everything. So it's important that you have a closing checklist. Have I gotten the appraisal? Have I gotten the survey? Have I gotten the insurance? Like you go through a whole checklist of all the things that you need to have in place before you get into closing, seller disclosure, and all of that stuff. And so add this one to your checklist. But knowing this loan process here is going to help you tremendously in your confidence in working with these private lenders. Okay. Do you have any other things you want to add to this, Ross?
No, you did a great job.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. So let's talk about your homework for today, everybody. All right. Here you go. Like I said, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you sign up for your account at connectedinvestors.us. and also sign up for your account at dodeals.com/CI, dodeals.com/CI. We're doing a special now where you can get a 30-day trial for only $1. Because if you go to dodeals.com directly, you have to pay $37 or $97 depending on which membership you choose. And so, so make sure you go to.
With all the stuff Tim brought up, there's a lot of value inside there.
Right. There's tons and tons of value in there for the amount that you're paying, for sure. And so make sure you make sure you have watched module number 1 and done the homework on that, which is to find at least 10 cash buyers. Module number 2 was to find at least 10 wholesalers with current deals. And so in this module, your homework for this module is to talk to at least 5 private lenders. So go and find these private lenders, and find these private lenders, talk to them, take them out to lunch, and remember, just build relationship with them.
And these action items here, if you didn't do the action items for 1 and 2, this could actually get all 3 off your checklist, because as you're digging through the records, you're going to be able to find, remember, the buyers who are borrowing from the private, people borrowing from the private lenders are buyers, okay? So that's some of your homework right there. You got the private lenders, and then there's deals there too. So this is very, very important. And remember what Tim and I said about 30 minutes ago, had we started from scratch all over again, this is where we would have focused a lot of our time.
Right. And so, yeah, so make sure you do all of this. And I know we've been teaching you a lot. And so I hope you guys had time, and make sure you make it a priority to put these things in practice, because if you're just learning by watching this video, you're probably only going to retain 20% of what you're learning here. But once you put it in practice, you'll be able to retain at least 80% of it. And so put it into practice, do something. Yeah, I mean, these things are really easy to do. You have nothing to lose. Nobody's going to bite you, and nobody's going to hurt you, anything like that. Just practice. Think of it to yourself as, oh, I'm just practicing. I'm not doing a real deal. I'm just practicing. Let me just do these things to practice. And
yeah, you're going to practice. You're going to practice your way to millions if you do these things.
Right. That's what I do. I mean, I always look at my business, as a practice, as a test. And yeah, just like what Ross said, you just practice your way to millions.
Absolutely. And guys, in Due Deals, through the trainings that Tim does, and coming to Connected Investors, and you pay the $7 to get access to the premium account, and you're going to be able to jump on calls with us, every week, every month, and while you're working your way through these deals, we can answer specific questions for you. We want to, after this training, we want to help you more, but we have so many people that are on these calls. We only want to help the people who really want it. So make sure to jump into DueDeals/CI or InsideConnectedInvestors.us. You can get in and browse around and use, 80% of the stuff in there for free. But if you want to have access, to us on a weekly basis, just pay the $7, get all the tools you need, and we do this all day, every day. This is just what we love to do. This is what we love to do.
Exactly. So, everybody, well, I totally enjoyed teaching you today. I hope you gotten a lot of value out of this call. And both Ross and I, want to encourage you again and always to go out there and take action on what you learn, because nothing's going to happen until you move, okay? So start to move more and start to take action more, because that's when that's when you're going to attract these deals to you. That's when you're going to attract these private lenders, these cash buyers, these wholesalers to you. So go out there and take action today, everybody.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
All right. Take it easy. Bye.